I want to introduce our other parent society, which is the CNS, the Congress, our president, which is amazing because he's one of us. Actually, he's a spine surgeon, and he's Dr. Dan Ho. So he's going to give us an update what's going on with CNS. Welcome, Dan.
Well, I want to thank Jacques. It's been fantastic to work this year with such a great partner and friend as Jacques Marcos. And thank you for the opportunity to speak here today. I really want to congratulate Juan on a fantastic year meeting to the annual meeting team and executive leadership. I'm really excited. It's been a fantastic meeting so far. I'm really excited to see the course of this meeting over the weekend, as well as the transition to good friends Erica Bisson will be taking over as chair. So I'll start by saying one of the things I'd like to welcome all of you to is our annual meeting for the Congress of Neurological Surgeons. The CNS meeting this year will be this fall. I'll be in Los Angeles, California. It'll be our 75th annual meeting of the CNS. I've been really fortunate to be part of a really dynamic annual meeting team, which is led by Khoi Tan, a member of this section, and the section's executive committee. He's put together as scientific program chair what I believe is a really fantastic program related to our field within neurosurgery, as well as specifically content related to spine. And so some of those things, I'm really excited to share that we will honor Dan Resnick as our CNS honored guest. He's a past CNS president and a past chair of this section. In addition, we'll have a special weekend symposium honoring the legacy of Rick Fessler. It will be a day-long symposium with many of his colleagues, collaborators, and past trainees who will give talks and case discussions and presentations related to the innovations within minimally invasive spine surgery. And hopefully many of you got the announcement that came out yesterday. We have some really exciting, dynamic featured speakers at our annual meeting, led by filmmaker Spike Lee, TV journalist and news correspondent Lisa Ling, and documentary filmmaker and National Geographic fellow Dan Buettner, who will talk about his work looking at blue zones and human performance and longevity. I want to thank Juan and the representation from this section who served on our CNS annual meeting committee and providing really enhanced dynamic spine content for annual meetings. So you'll see a lot of that in our program as the program comes out. And this is just sort of a slice of what you'll see from a standpoint of spine in our CNS annual meeting. So again, as I mentioned, we have a special day-long symposium looking at minimally invasive spine surgery in honor of Rick Fessler, but we'll also have a special symposium in collaboration with the Scoliosis Research Society, among a lot of other great spine content throughout our week. In addition to the annual meeting, we have a lot of other great offerings related to spine surgery. So in a month, we have our annual CNS spine complications course, and this was started many years ago by Dan Resnick and has been led for many years by past chairs of this section, Praveen Mumanetti and Adam Cantor. And so that will be in 1 month in a vacation in Park City. So for those of you who have not attended this, I've been to it for many years. It's a great opportunity to engage with our colleagues in a very intimate setting to talk about difficult, challenging cases within spine surgery, how to manage complications and whatnot. So if you like to participate in something like that and also be in a nice location to ski or snowboard, I really encourage you to register for this course. Beyond that, we've really expanded our offerings in other sort of media outlets. And so one of these that has been really successful for us is our CNS podcasts. And so you'll find podcasts related to all things within neurosurgery and spine surgery, including our journal club, guidelines, controversies. And so I've been really excited to see some of the collaborations we've had with the CNS and this organization, the spine section. And so recent podcasts related to, with Juan on Journal Club with thoracic endoscopic discectomy. Past chair of this section, Mike Steinmetz, did a podcast on controversies for motion preservation versus fusion, and then Jeff Mullen on a surgical risk calculator for adult spinal deformity. What I'm really excited about, this is hot off the press, so this is now available online and should be in your mailboxes soon, is a special supplement that will come out in our CNS publications, which is neurosurgery. Will come with the March issue. It's a neurosurgery supplement on minimally invasive spine surgery, innovation and outcomes. So this was guest edited by Juan, John O'Toole, and Anand Veeravagu, with an incredible list of contributions and submissions by many of the thought leaders within our field, many people who are here in this audience today on minimally invasive spine surgery. So you can access that now online, and it should be in your mailboxes soon. So one of the other important missions within our organization is guidelines, how we elevate and enhance the standard of our practice as a community. And so there have been a number of guidelines that have been developed with our organization, the CNS, in partnership with the spine section. And so you can see just a list of some of these that are currently published as well as those who are in progress. And one of the things that we are very thoughtful about is not just generating guidelines, but how can we measure the impact of our guidelines? How are they disseminated? And what is the impact in our community and our field? So one of the ways simply to do that is through citations. So if you look at, for example, our acute cervical spinal cord injury guidelines, over 1,200 citations to date. Surgical management of cervical degenerative disease, nearly 1,000 citations to date. And I mentioned our podcast. That's another way in which we access content, how we disseminate information, how we elevate the standards for our community. So I mentioned we have a guidelines podcast. So some of our guidelines, over 2,000 listens to date related to spine surgery. What I'm really excited about is some enhancements that we've done this year with how we interface with our community through our app. So we think about how we access content in this day and age, it's oftentimes through our mobile devices. So if you access our CNS Plus app through however you download apps in your mobile devices, you'll see some enhancements that we've done over the course of the past couple of years. And so what we've done, if you log in with your CNS member login to the CNS Plus app, you will find content that has been tailored specifically for you based on your profile, your specialty, your practice, your community. And so these will be things related to courses, guidelines, journal content. And you'll see these things, what are your colleagues reading? What are they searching for? And you'll see a member pathways, meaning, for example, if you're a CNS resident and you are preparing for your written boards, you'll see content related to board preparation. If you're in practice and you're preparing for oral board certification, you'll see that as well. And you'll be able to access all this content through a single source, through your mobile device. Recommended education, I'm a spine surgeon, I'm a member of this section, and so based on my profile, it will recommend cases within Nexus for me related to spine surgery. But perhaps what I'm most excited about, in this day and age with artificial intelligence, machine learning, large language models, there's been a significant development within our app with our AI chatbot. And so what this is in the large ecosystem within our CNS publications, guidelines, and content, how can we seamlessly create a user interface for people to access that content? And so with large language models, we've been able to do that. And so for example, you can, through our CNS Plus app, prompt the CNS AI chatbot and ask a question like, what is the current treatment guideline for lumbar spondylolisthesis? And it will generate a response, not only based on our education, our content, our guidelines, and so forth, but will actually provide hyperlink with citations and references. I mentioned Nexus briefly. This is one of our member benefits, and so this is a large repository of operative techniques with videos, illustrations, and photos, and so forth. So I encourage people to access that. One of the important focuses of our organization is cultivating the next leaders within neurosurgery, and there's been an intense focus on doing that within not only our executive board, as well as within our community and our members. And so this is just a representation of our current CNS executive board and the members of this section who lead vital committees within our organization. And there's a lot of different ways that we can access that through our CNS, through our courses, and online. And again, as we think about how we cultivate our next generation of leaders, I encourage people who are interested, one of our flagship programs is our Leadership Institute. It is a weekend-long course on leadership skills training, and we have offerings for people who are early career leaders, mid-career, and this year you'll see a new course, which is for those people at the executive level. So people are looking at moving into system and enterprise executive leadership roles. So those applications for the Leadership Institute are now available, and I encourage all those to look at cns.org for those. The last I'll mention is our CNS Foundation, is our philanthropic arm, and there have been a lot of great collaborations between our foundation and the spine section. And so these have been things like using philanthropic funds to develop guidelines, as we mentioned, as well as international observerships for our partners and colleagues from around the country to come visit surgeons like experts in this room about spine surgery. Building community is incredibly important for our organization. You will find us on CNS and all of our social media outlets, so I encourage all of you to join and engage with us through those means at which you do, because community is our focus. And I'll end by saying I thank all of you. I thank Juan and the meeting committee to be here. I welcome all of you to our annual meeting, which will be this fall in Los Angeles, to the 75th meeting of the Congress of Neurological Surgeons. Thank you.